Hey guys, what's going on here? This is LC Muscles, and yeah, this is the top 10 best and worst of 2016. Wow. 2016 definitely flew by fast. We had lots of big things happen. There were some good films, there were some bad films, there were some mediocre films, which was a majority of them, but right now we are going to be talking about the worst first. But yeah, let's get things started, and to help me get started, I'm going to need a little friend from Patrick Stewart's favorite drink, Mr. Strongbow. So with that being said, let me take a drink and let's get this started. So with that being said, let's go with my dishonorable mentions. This year I did not give as many zeros out as I did last year, but there was definitely some stinkers and there were definitely some films that made you just go, why did I even see this? So with that being said, let's start things off with Swiss Army Man, Edge of 17, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out to the Shadows, The Angry Birds movie, Mechanic Resurrection, The Purge Election Year, and finally, Boo! A Medea Halloween. That being said, let's get into the top 10 worst films of 2016.
Number 10.
If you know, if you're following Austin's channel, you know what this movie is. It was featured on the top 10 worst summer movies of 2016 list. That's right, it's the Ghostbusters movie. Even after reconsideration for this movie, the only good thing I really loved about this movie is Leslie Jones. She is very underrated and she deserves much better than this movie. The rest of the actors really do not pull their own weight. The cameos were pretty bad. Especially Bill Murray. He didn't even look like he wanted to be there, and it's Ghostbusters. Definitely let me down. It let a lot of fans down. It made some people cry, and yeah, Ghostbusters 2016 though is just, I couldn't believe it. But good thing it's gonna be the last one. They're not making another one. They realized what was wrong with it. It's not because that all women are in it, it's just because the jokes aren't strong. That's the main problem with this movie. But otherwise though, Ghostbusters 2016 was a massive disappointment, a massive failure, and unfortunately won my number 10 worst film of 2016.
Number 9.
This is what a studio thinks is a great idea. Oh, it's a animated movie. You know what? Let's test it out and let's see if we can make some money. That's a great idea. Norm in the North, let's release it to people and make them get more money out of it. Norm in the North was an absolute disaster from start to finish. The side characters were annoying. Pretty much the main whole cast was annoying. Like, Norm in the North is one of those movies that makes you think, why am I even watching this? Why am I here? There's a twerking polar bear. Just give me a second. Norm in the North is just stupid.
Number 8.
I just saw this recently. Alex, I know you're a pain, dude. Max Steel. All I need to see this. All I need to say is one scene. This movie can be summed up in one scene in particular. You use Google to search your own powers. And Max Steel has some of the worst special effects of the year, the worst characters, pretty much a predictable love story, really nothing special, a villain that's awful, the story makes no sense. Yeah, Max Steel is just a complete garbage. Why'd they make this movie? To promote a toy that was barely popular. Yeah!
Number 7.
I can't believe I almost finished most of my drink already. I'm disappointed. We still got a lot more films to go. And number 7 is quite a doozy. I saw this with two people, and you guys know who they are, Austin and Alex. I laughed the least between Austin and Alex when we first saw this film, and then I saw it again. Why did I see it again? To prove pretty much point why Dirty Grandpa is an absolutely horrible comedy.
Actually, I was not with you. You were just with Alex. I skipped the screening. I
really?
skipped it. Yeah.
I thought, my bad. I thought you were me.
I skipped it. Yeah.
Dirty Grandpa is a film of why in the heck does this movie start off the way it does. It starts off with Robert De Niro jacking off and Zac Efron walking in on him. I don't think many people want to see Robert De Niro jack off. Dirty Grandpa has some of the worst characters you pretty much can see possible, including the police officers who are completely dumb. They try and do some sweet sappy moments with Zac Efron and Robert De Niro here and there, but yeah, Dirty Grandpa just deserves to be on here. It's not as bad as my next couple because this is my last 0.5 out of 10, but next we get to the zeros and oh boy, that's gonna be fun. That's why Dirty Grandpa's my number 7.
Number 6.
Starting out, we got our first zero of the year, Mother's Day. This is more of a forgettable movie, but I do remember some things in this movie, including the soccer game scene. That was some of the dumbest acting I've ever seen. Heck, I don't even remember most of the actors who were in this movie because of how bad it was and forgettable. There is absolutely nothing good with this movie. The acting's terrible, the chemistry's terrible, plot points are pretty predictable. You pretty much know where this movie's going, and there's lots of curse words everywhere. Definitely don't take your mother to see this movie, that's for sure.
Number 5.
Woohoo! Number 5 is home to the worst special effects of the year for this big budget movie with lots of overacting, lots of terrible effects. Gods of Egypt deserves to be on here. Gods of Egypt is one of those films that just makes you scream WTTF. Gerard Butler, all he does is go, ah, ah. Yeah, this could have been really good. It definitely got yourselves going, this actually could be worth seeing. It could be something, but it's now pretty much one of those films where you're just gonna sit down and think, right when HBO plays Gods of Egypt, like, whoop, 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 whoop. Gods of Egypt is home to the worst special effects of the year. My second zero of the year, my number 5 worst film of 2016.
Number 4.
I'm gonna save the rest of this for when I get to my number 1 because I will need it. But number 4 is a spoof movie, and if you want to know how bad this spoof movie is, it features one of my favorite fighters of all time, Meet the Blacks. Oh my god.
You watched Meet the Blacks?
Yes, I did. I watched Meet the Blacks.
I still
The acting in this movie is god awful. Like literally, the family is unbelievably predictable. Like you can pretty much tell what's gonna happen. This movie does not deserve to be a spoof movie, and this is done by Mike Epps, who definitely does have some potential. He definitely has good material in him, but this is not it. Oh, I hated this movie so much. This was such a terrible waste of time. Number 3 is the cream of the crop for absolutely terrible animated movies. Ice Age Collision Course has nothing good about it. Pretty much like they're not even trying. They did not care with this movie. The voice acting seems like they were tired. They didn't even record right. Ice Age Collision Course has also one of the worst endings of the year, which you gotta look up a line of how bad it is. I can't even wrap my head around how bad this ending is. Ice Age Collision Course is the worst animated movie I have seen in a long time, since The Nut Job probably.
Number 2.
This is pretty much what happens when someone blackmails you into doing something you don't want to do. 9 Lives. Kevin Spacey was in this movie. Let me just rephrase that. Kevin Spacey was in this movie. And have you seen what Kevin Spacey has done in recent years? He just won a Critics' Choice Award for Best Actor for House of Cards. And yet you have him in this? A Shaggy Dog ripoff?
A movie that wasn't even that great in the first place.
Exactly! 9 Lives has someone that also has terrible CGI effects. Pretty much having Kevin Spacey as a cat, it literally screams, we have no money, we have no ideas, dear, just watch it. Can we watch something else? This sucks. I don't know why Kevin Spacey did it. I thought he was seriously blackmailed with some crazy stuff that some guy, crazy dirt on someone has had. 9 Lives is a complete utter disaster of a film. Don't watch this, don't spend any time with this. Don't even buy it if it's in the Walmart crap bin, because all those movies are terrible.
It's number 1.
Cheers, I'm gonna drink the last of this so I can get ready for my worst.
Chug, 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 chug.
It wasn't much of a chug, but okay. This movie is a film where it actually had some things happen to me. I have never gotten out of my seat and walked out of this movie so many times that I've done this year. I literally have never walked out of the theater, opened the doors to out of the theater, and go get a drink of water because I couldn't stomach how bad this movie was. It made me get out of my seat 4 times, and Austin was like, I don't blame you. Remember?
Yeah, I was like, dude, you can just leave if you want.
I really was considering getting, this was the closest I've been to getting a refund. Number 1 is 50 Shades of Black, without a doubt. This is my worst film in years. The characters in this movie are fucking stupid. They absolutely have no good jokes. So Marlon Wayans actually has talent. He did The Haunted House too, which was criminally underrated. Me and Austin all laughed at the movie. I thought it was pretty funny.
I laughed, but I didn't think it was a good film.
50 Shades of Black. I literally was doing this, like, when I laughed, I literally laughed in agony and pain because of how bad this movie was. A scene from fucking Whiplash, one of my favorite movies of 2014. That scene was like, oh no, you tried again, you're terrible. I hated this fucking piece of shit. This is one of the worst movies I have seen in a long time. It rivals, like, many other films for worst film of the decade. It might be my worst film of the decade come 2020 when I make the list.
It's a big fucking piece of shit.
It's something that you should never waste any money on. I wasted money on this movie. Worst fucking decision of my life. I could have spent that $10 on a burrito. And I I love food, okay? I'm sorry, I love food. Anyway, though, 50 Shades of Black, please burn in hell and suck the devil's dick. That is why 50 Shades of Black is my #1 worst film of 2016. Oh, I feel so much better. That is now the end of the worst movies of 2016. Now I can focus on my best. That video will be coming up later. If you have not seen Shane or Joe's top 10 best and worst films, please do so before watching my best, because I want to see how everybody does first. And I want you guys to support Shane and Joe as well. That's really all I gotta say about my worst films of 2016. Thank you all for joining this list, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the best of 2016 list. See you later, stay awesome, have a great night, and fuck 50 Shades of Black.
Rock this house until we knock it down, so turn the volume loud, 'cause it's